All right, welcome back, Virgin Wick Hunters. So today we'll be reviewing yesterday's trades, Thursday, January the 22nd. Personally, I had a pretty good day. I had 4 trades, 3 wins, 1 loss for a total of 5R. And we'll also go over the CSD entry model, which I used for some of these trades. But I'll go over those. And we'll also go over some trades that were skipped and why you should avoid certain trades. But yeah, here's how we're looking. Here's a quick update on the 20 A+ trades challenge that some of you are aware that I'm doing. Started off pretty rough, 4 losses in a row, but all it takes is one good day, and now we're back in this. So just got to trust the process and let the numbers play out. So that's how we're looking. So here's a quick overview of the strategy. So waiting for virgin wicks or untouched wicks to get closed through by Chad candle, in this case a bullish one. Then we drop down to the 1 minute time frame and we look for price to trade below the POI, and then to present, it first has to touch or be in a higher time frame fair value gap, then present an entry model, which is either a CSD, change in state of delivery, or a IFVG, which you're already well aware of. Super quick. If you don't know what a CSD is, or a change in state of delivery, so your change in state of delivery line is so for a bullish setup, it is the opening candle of the leg that took liquidity. So in this case, this is the leg that took liquidity. So here's your liquidity on the left here, this swing low, that's your liquidity. So this is the leg that took liquidity. And so you want to look for the opening price of the first candle that took liquidity, if it's consecutive. Let me find a single candle. Okay. So in this one, this run up, these 2 candles, that is your leg up that took liquidity. And so you want to look for the highest closing up candle. So it's this one. Then you want to look at the opening price of that candle. That is your CSD level. Let's see here as well. So here is your leg down that took liquidity, these consecutive red candles. So this is your liquidity over here, these candles here. I wonder if you can see my mouse. Maybe not. Maybe you can't. But hopefully you get it. If not, watch a video. Watch a T-Trades video. He explains it really well. But I will make a more dedicated video to change in state of delivery over the weekend with a deeper explanation, actual backtest results, examples, exactly how I incorporate it into my trading Bible and my trading process. But in short, I think they are extremely powerful. If you've been following, I tried to use them before, but I didn't fully understand CSDs, and sometimes I would take an engulfing candle instead of a correct CSD. And that was also when I did not incorporate other confluences like higher time frame fair value gaps. But now properly using CSDs with everything else in the model, they are looking really solid, really powerful. But let's get into today's trades. Yesterday's. Okay, so we'll start with the loss I had. This was on London, 3 a.m. candle. Okay, let's go. So the 2 a.m. candle closes strongly through this virgin wick, creating this bullish point of interest. And we have some bullish fair value gaps here as well. But you may also notice we are in the middle of a pretty big 15-minute bearish fair value gap. And so how I approach conflicting fair value gaps is I just look at most recent information. So if we go to the 15-minute chart, yes, there is a bearish 15-minute gap here and a big one here. But the most recent one is this one here, this bullish 15-minute gap. So that's the one I'm playing off. So I like to look at most recent information. So if we let this play out, POI gets engaged, FVGs have been engaged, and then bang, there is your IFVG. So that's where I entered. Pull my stop just below the entry candle, targeting these highs for 2R. And it never really got up there, stopped out, took that loss. that's okay. I would say that's A plus for me. So I'm quite happy with that loss. I would take this again any day. But yeah, funnily enough, if you skip that and you continue to let that play out, there is actually a CSD here. So let me show you what an example it looks like. So we swept this swing low. See, there's your sweep. And so what's the leg that took the liquidity? So this leg here. And so if there's consecutive candles, you want to look for the opening candle of the first candle that took of that leg. So there's your CSD. So you could have actually taken this one. Bang, entry there. Stop at the swing low, targeting 2R. You get tagged in, and then, yeah, that runs the TP. So it could have been a win if you don't take IFVGs and you only take CSDs for whatever reason, but I take both. And then next trade was at 8 a.m. So let's go there. This was a win that I had. Okay, so 8 a.m. candle closes, sorry, 7 a.m. As you can see here, we have this strong bullish Chad candle closing through this virgin wick. See, there is our POI printed by our lovely indicator. Shout out to Master Chi for this nice free indicator. So POI gets engaged. No bearish entry yet though. And then we tap into a bunch of high time frame bearish fair value gaps. Boom. So here there's actually a CSD. So if I turn on my indicator, yeah, it's there. So this is the leg up that took liquidity. Because what is the last swing high that got broken? I would say this one. That's the last swing high that got broken. And so these are not consecutive candles. So you just want to look for the highest closing up candle. So this one and the opening price of that one. So there's your CSD. But you never actually get a CSD entry with this one. But it's just nice to have confirmation because you never get tagged. But we do get an IFVG confirmed there. So I quickly entered there, put my stop just above the entry candle with a bit of space. And bang, 2R. So that was one of the wins I had. Very nice, very nice. What else? Oh yeah, there was a New York PM trade I wanted to go over. Just reviewing. I did not take this because I'm deep asleep by New York PM since I live in Asia, for those who asked. So 1 p.m. candle closes strongly through this, creating your bullish POI. And let's have a look from 2 a.m. POI has not been engaged yet, so you would not take that IFVG. Bang, POI has been wicked successfully, followed by an IFVG. Very nice. And as you can see here, there is a 15-minute FVG as well that we tapped into perfectly. So this is A+ for me. This looks really nice. No CSD here, so that's why it's nice to have 2 entry models, because sometimes you might not see a change in state of delivery, just an IFVG. So you could enter there. You can be pretty lenient with your stop because the target's so high up there. And I believe this is, yeah, 0 drawdown, super clean trade. Yeah, if you trade New York PM, very nice setup. I think that was it for gold. All right, let's have a look at NQ. There was this nice one, which I already covered in yesterday's video, which was part of one of my wins, but I already covered it yesterday. Just a nice bullish POI, high time frame fair value gaps, and a CST entry. Very nice. Let's go to, yeah, there was nothing during London, no POIs engaged. New York, oh yes, this was the other win I had for the day. Okay. So let's go to the start of the hour. So this very strong bullish trade candle is about to close through all of these virgin wicks, creating your POIs. There you go. So these are the POIs we are working with. POIs get engaged. No entry model yet. Okay. So why did I enter here? So here is a swing low that gets swept by this candle. And so this is the leg that took liquidity. And so we want to look for the lowest closing bearish candle, which is this one in that leg, and the opening price of it. So there is your CSD. So that's where I entered. And then with CSD, I always put my stop at the low or the high, because you want to give it a bit more breathing room. And then targeting 2R, of course, as always. Very nice. There were some, this is the 5-minute time frame. There was a 5-minute gap here, which we tapped into beautifully. And yeah, all confluences were met there. I don't know why it's not showing, but yeah, very nice. That was my other win. And then if we go over to 10 a.m., just the very next hour. Oh yeah, just a quick note. So you do get some, in that same 9 a.m. hour, you do get a couple IFVG prints. But in my case, in my thinking, the hour is already completed. Like we already got the win, so I'm not even looking at these anymore. I'm off for that hour. So next hour, 10 a.m., we have some very strong bearish candle close, creating these virgin wicks. These bearish POIs, sorry. And a 15-minute gap there. So POI gets just wick. Oh no, it doesn't even touch it. So yeah, no, there's nothing there. Never mind. On to the next one. All right, this is another New York PM trade. Not A+, and I wouldn't take it anyways, but just wanted to just go over it. So we have this bullish POI that gets engaged. And then, is that a CST? I think so. Oh yeah, there's your CST. So you would enter there, stop at the lows, but yeah. One reason I don't like it is it's only 1R if you target those highs. And secondly, we did not tap into a high time frame fair value gap. So I don't love this, but it does end up running. So yeah, not bad. And then, oh yes, this 1 p.m. candle. Okay, it's getting a bit messy. So if we look at the hourly candle, we get a strong bullish close above this virgin wick, creating this POI to play off. So POI does get engaged, and you would see a CSD here, but so if you were to take that, it would look something like this. You'd have to put your stop very low and you target these highs. So 1.46 are not bad. But yeah, the reason I would not take this, besides it being outside of my hours, is that you will notice here the price already wicked into and then bounced quite strongly. off the POI and took out these highs. So I would consider that hour already done. I would consider the powers of this POI finished. There was one more I wanted to go over at 3 p.m. just for repetition's sake, just for education's sake. All right, so the 2 p.m. candle is about to close quite bearishly. There you go. It closes bearishly through this virgin wick and this one, creating your bearish points of interest. So let's have a look at what happens. POIs get engaged. Drawn liquidity is still there. Bang. So, okay, let's have a look. Your CSD would be here because, so these, I would say these are this one and this one are the last major swing highs to be swept, and they got swept by this candle. And so this candle is a part of this whole leg. But since it's not consecutive candles, you just want to look for the highest up closing candle, which is this one. And it is consecutive with this one. So there's two in a row. So then you want to look at the lowest in that sequence. And so the opening price of that leg, of that sequence, is here, if I can draw it. So there's your CST. And if I turn my indicators on, yeah, that's right. Bang, bang. Nice. Starting to develop my eye for the CST. Yeah, so that's where you would enter. That's where you would put your limit order, sorry. But yeah, for me, again, the target is too low. There's like nothing to aim for, like 0.3R. But yeah, that's just, I guess this is just an example to show how well CSDs work off POIs to deliver price action. There's also a 15-minute gap there as well. But yeah, I wouldn't take it for those reasons stated above. But that was it for the day. Hope you liked that one. I hope the CSD entry model makes sense to you. I hope you guys are trading well. If that does not make sense, don't worry. Over the weekend, I'm going to do even more testing and do a more in-depth breakdown of the CSD entry model. I'll also update my trading Bible and put in more examples of it in there and just go over the process of how I incorporate them with the rest of my confluences, with the rest of the model that you guys know. But yeah, see you next time.